They might have split up or they might have capsized. They may have broke deep and took water.
That's The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald by Gordon Lightfoot. It's a good song. You should go listen to it. It's on YouTube. I'm going to call this total commitment. This is one of those things that makes a difference that people don't get that it does. My philosophy, so to speak, is basically that wounds heal, chicks dig scars, and we are all fucking being reincarnated anyway, so the wheel spins on. My death matters not. I fight as such. This makes me a particularly dangerous animal. This is what I would encourage you to be. It's like, if you did shoot me, I would continue doing whatever it was I was doing until I was physically incapable of not doing it anymore. Because I don't care if I live or die. All that I care about is that you die. From hell's heart I stab at thee. Okay? This, mixed with being fairly well at several things. I'm not going to get into that, but like, I shoot real good. Various other things. I could be more physically fit. I work on that. I work on many things. But the thing that I see in the gun community that's missing is this. It's the from hell's heart I stab at thee. No matter what you do, I'm going to keep doing the thing that I'm doing. Until you fucking die. This is samurai shit. This is shit that like James Yeager got. Like, honestly, if I could have ever had a conversation with that man on camera, it would have been about this. About the, like, you know, it's not about who shoots first. It's about who shoots last over your fucking corpse, basically. Like, I trust in the Baraka to protect me to some extent. That is like the Holy Spirit. It's, you know, divine providence is going to come down and stop them bullets. If it doesn't matter. This is how you have to fight. And don't take my word for this. Go fucking read anything Miyamoto Musashi ever fucking wrote. Ever. You'll find that he and I actually have a lot of shit in common. I didn't realize this, but he's a hermit. He rejected society and killed people with a sword. You know, Nobu-san. You know. This is the way, basically. Total commitment. I was watching a thing about the Battle of Midway the other day. I didn't realize that there were fucking B-26 Marauders that took off out of Midway that attacked the Japanese fleet. They did it with fucking jerry-rigged torpedoes. So the U.S. torpedoes at the start of World War II sucked. So basically, they didn't do anything at all. You know, even if the fucking torpedoes hit, they didn't go off. But the B-26s, during this process, one got shot down, almost hitting one of the carriers. And the other, another one of the three, there were 3 B-26s in total. And one of the other two that was the one that made it back home said, fuck this shit. Turned straight at the carrier's conning tower and strafed the fucking deck of the carrier along the way with the machine guns. Came so close to hitting the fucking, tower of the Japanese aircraft carrier that it scared the admiral and the fucking ships turned around. And the quote on that was, these Americans die like samurai. That is some samurai shit. It's like some Han Solo shit. Straight at him. To death and glory. Fuck it, maybe we'll make it out this way. It's the craziest shit I've ever heard of. Not to mention a B-26, for those not in the knows, pretty good sized airplane. It's like the size of a small commercial airliner today. A Learjet even, maybe, so like somewhere in between like a 737 and a Learjet, size-wise. That thing, literally, the maneuver that dude did in the air was, I'm flying away from the carrier, I'm flying away from the carrier. Let's say you're the carrier. Flying away from the carrier, nosed straight at you. He took a fucking plane that's not supposed to move like that and did that shit at him. And made an admiral blink. I love it. Forget his name. You can Google that shit, though. There weren't too many B-26 Marauders at fucking Midway. There were only 3 of them. The airframe was damaged beyond repair because of the gunshots and his maneuver. Some mix of the two. It's one of those, like, that plane was not designed to fly like that. Couldn't do it again. It's just awesome. It's one of those, like, from what they said, I gathered that, like, he tore fucking engine mounts and shit doing that fucking turn. Because basically he went from being in a climb to being upside down and over and into a dive. Straight at a fucking aircraft carrier. And the reason he did that was they were getting hit with flak, and it was getting to where they were not going to continue to be there anymore if they continued flying the direction they were flying. So he said something just told him, say fuck it. Like that, I think, is the Holy Spirit. Fucking dive bombing a fucking carrier with no bombs and a fucking B-26 that couldn't fucking dive bomb if it ever, like, had they fucking had that option, they would have done that as, like, their attack plan, right? They chose to put torpedoes on those things. You know, they thought it stood a better chance of scoring a kill. Because basically with a B-26 like that, I don't think they even had bomb sights in those things, so it would have been free bombing, with a bomb bay. Which, hitting a Navy ship, good luck with that. After, knowing what we know now, maybe they should have fucking gone with the bombs, and they should have gone up to high altitude, lined up a shot, and dropped individual fucking bombs one at a time. Do dives that you could pull out of. That would have been fucking interesting. I just think it's crazy that, like, the Japanese admiral sitting on the carrier literally saw his life flash before his eyes while he thought he was in safety from harm. That's like the Japanese in a nutshell. That's like half of the brilliance of the Doolittle raid was they hit Tokyo. The Emperor watched this shit happen, knowing that they know where he lives. If they wanted to target the Emperor, they would have targeted the Emperor. In fact, between you and me, That's what I would have done had I been fucking Jimmy Doolittle. As soon as we were in the air and underway, I would have told all my birds that we aren't going for industrial centers. We're going for the head of the snake. Follow me. We're going to the Imperial Palace. That's the way. Right? Although, like, you know, that's one of those would have either gone really well or really bad. I'm up for that, though, you know? It's one of those, shooting the bad man is sometimes not always the best thing to do. And in the case of the Emperor of Japan, that was most assuredly the case. There would have been no one good that replaced him. But to be honest, I have this like love and respect for the Japanese, but also hate for the Japanese. It's this mixture. It's what people felt after World War II, mixed into what people felt in the 1980s. Like, I don't know. There is some of that shit where, like, they attacked us. And especially back then, right after that happened, I would have wanted them dead. I would have wanted their whole fucking families dead. And, like, this is the thing that, like, people don't get is right now we're set up into a situation where all we have to do is have some fucking Russian group of fucking terrorists or a missile or whatever do one thing here on American soil that kills 3,000 people, and we will launch a fucking war unlike you've never fucking seen at fucking Russia. I think that's concerning. Anyway, I hope you found the idea of fighting with total commitment interesting. It's not everybody's thing. Most people, when they reach, you know, pain or death, they give up. I train to keep going. That's an interesting thing. It's not for everybody, and it's why I'm crazy, to be honest. I think it's why the Indians said not to fight crazy people. Personally, I don't think I'm crazy. I think I'm perfectly normal. I think all of you are crazy. All of you that fucking don't do this. I don't know. Maybe it's just me that, like, our world is dying and we're going to be fighting. So, like, I'm not worried about fucking any of the shit that most Americans are worried about. And I think you're about not to be worried about most shit most Americans are worried about. Most Americans don't want to pay taxes and they want their kids to be in a nice school and they want yada, yada, yada. And they don't get that this is, like, still the world. Like, your kids are going to go to war and die. Maybe you should prepare them for that. Like, this, honestly, this is such bullshit. Most of the reason why this is happening is because they don't fucking have our schools run right. And I don't think they should all be military academy Nazis or whatever, but, like, every fucking school should have a rifle team. Every fucking school should have some sort of a fucking fencing club and an MMA club. And the fencing shouldn't be like fencing. It should be like weapons training. It should be the point of these places is to produce a class of young men that could fucking do this shit. Why? Because sometimes it has to be fucking done. Like, that's kind of my whole rant about the universe. Like, everybody looks at me and sees, I don't know, a trans woman who is still fat. And they don't get that I fucking try harder than anyone you've ever fucking met. I only get to where I get. I keep trying. That's some of that shit that, like, that makes the difference. I think some of it is I need to stop focusing on, like, trying to look better and start focusing on just being stronger in general. But if I do that, I'm not going to look the way I want to look. I saw a creepy ass video yesterday that was babies being grown in pods. Like, we're getting to a point where I am a terrorist. The second they start growing people in pods, they're just going to be doing a thing to replace us all. This is fucking ridiculous. Ted Kaczynski was right. What are we going to do about it? This is the question, I guess. I think about that shit every fucking day. We live in some thing that's just like, it's going to create some fucking technological nightmare no matter what we do. And if we don't do it, someone else is going to do it. And personally, like, at the point that someone's going to create a technological nightmare, I'd rather be in control of the fucking nightmare. Like, I think Starship Troopers looks like a brighter future than fucking, I don't know, some of the possible futures. Like, I think most people want to be happy and have a nice house and 2.3 kids and whatever. Like, if that's really what you want, you're going to have to fight for it. No one fucking gets that. No, that's not a thing that you're just guaranteed. Everyone has too many kids. Everyone lives outside of their fucking means. Most of you don't have enough money to have one kid, much less 3 or 4 or whatever. And then, like, the poorest amongst us have even more kids because they're being paid for by the system now. I don't know what you do about that. Seems like one of the answers is to stop paying for it. You know, the other answer nobody really likes. I'm not going to say it out loud. .56 millimeter full metal jacket. It's an answer, isn't it? Like, this is the thing that people don't get. Eventually, the world rights itself, and the thing that rights this is combat. We're going to have some fucking conflict that's going to be a grinded out slog fest somewhere. And they're going to start the draft again, and they're going to draft all these motherfuckers and send them to go fucking die. That's the point of what's going on. Is basically the answer to all of our problems is warfare. And I'm not the only one saying that. The Chinese are saying that. The Russians are saying that. Like, I don't know. I'm only saying that because it seems that everybody else is drawing fucking knives at us. Well, this has been a weird mix of shit, but samurai philosophy and music and events. I don't know what else to talk about. I might just end this here. I will say that I need light. Fucking YouTube. I will say that the 20 round AR-15 mag is just a superior thing. Like, I know it doesn't hold as much ammunition, but it fits in the palm of your hand. Like, they really made a decent replacement for a fucking in-block clip. You can pack these in bandoliers like M1 Garand clips. They're awesome. That's all. Like, I don't really have a greater point than that about this. It's just that I really dig these. See you guys later.